I used to chase the best 9mm pistol like it was some holy grail. Glock 19, Sig P320, PDP. I bought the hype, carried them all, and yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid. But somewhere along the way, I stopped asking what's popular and started asking what actually works. The truth is, the best changes fast. What worked 5 years ago doesn't cut it in 2025. And some of the guns that were at the top, they're getting smoked. So here it is, 13 pistols that actually prove themselves. No fluff, no fanboy nonsense, just the ones that made me sell what I thought I'd never give up. So let's get into it. I was mid-rant when I first shot this thing. You know the speech, German guns are overpriced, Walther hasn't made anything serious since the P99, trigger this, bore axis that. But then I pulled the trigger and forgot what I was talking about. The PDP Compact doesn't ask for respect, it just demands it. With a trigger that feels like cheating, slight serrations that could shred cardboard, and recoil that's somehow smoother than guns with twice the price tag. And that grip feels like someone scanned my hand in 3D while I was sleeping and printed it in polymer. Again, not a gun I wanted to like. It's bulky, it's got weird lines, the optic cut looks like a mistake, but none of that matters when you're stacking rounds like you've been training for a decade and realizing you've never shot this clean with anything else. It's not flashy, not sexy, not in your face, but the PDP Compact made me sit down, shut up, and rethink what a carry gun is supposed to feel like. This one made me mad, not because it's bad, because it's too good and it showed up way too late. The Glock 48 MOS is what the 19 should have been years ago. Slim enough to carry without printing, optics ready without needing a Dremel, and somehow still Glock level reliable, but better balanced, better handling, and better feeling in the hand. I didn't want to like it. I said it looked awkward, too long, too thin, but then I shot it and it felt like someone finally made a carry Glock for grown-ups. Add in a shield arms mag, and suddenly you've got a 15+1 setup that hides better than a 43X and shoots straighter than half the compact market. I've tried to find a reason to stop carrying it, and I haven't. No gimmicks, no bells, just a quiet, confident Glock that does everything right and makes me resent the decade I spent making excuses for the 19. The MOS version changed everything, and if this launched first, we probably wouldn't even be arguing about which Glock is best. I did not want to talk about this gun. Every time someone says Canik, I picture a dude with a neck tattoo explaining why $375 is all you'll ever need. And honestly, he might not be wrong, but I still didn't want to be part of that club. The Elite SC was supposed to be a joke. I bought it as a throwaway, a test mule I could beat to death, shoot dirty, and toss in a sock drawer. I even snuck it in a garbage tier holster just to prove a point. And then it shot better than my $900 carry gun. It cycled everything. The trigger, way too good. Made my other striker-fired pistols feel like squishing packing bubbles. That's when I knew I screwed up. Because now the gun I trashed in every group chat, the one I called a backup to the backup, was embarrassing the ones I actually liked. Yeah, it's still chunky, the slide's too tall, the branding sounds like an off-brand energy drink, but none of that matters when you're 500 rounds in with no failures and your serious guns are back in the case wondering what just happened. A buddy in Amarillo ran his in steel challenge matches. I laughed when I saw it. Turkish hype, I said. But then I saw his hit rate. I never wanted to respect a Canik. Now I just avoid eye contact with it in the safe because I know it knows. I didn't want this thing to be good. I've been a Glock boy as far as I can remember. I've defended it at parties, at the range, in comment sections I wish I never read. So when the P10C showed up looking like a cheap Glock knockoff, I scoffed, looked at the logo, the cut, and the trigger, and I thought this is a gimmick. But then I shot it and my pride just went quiet. The trigger, better than my tuned G19 straight out of the box. The grip angle, natural, almost like my hand found it before I was ready. And the slide feel, like racking a bank vault door that's been greased and blessed by a Czech priest. It made me mad because I didn't want to like it. I didn't want to admit that the thing I mocked was running circles around the thing I carried for years. The mags feel weird, the aftermarket's still not great, but it doesn't jam, doesn't flinch, doesn't beg for attention. It just shows up and handles business. I had to sit with that for a while, and I still am, because every time someone says just get a Glock, I don't answer right away anymore. And that silence, that's the P10C talking for me. I've dumped this gun 3 times. Each time I swore I was done. Too big for a pocket, too small to shoot fast, and weirdly balanced. First time I carried it, I said out loud, this thing's going on Gunbroker next week. But I never sold it, not even once. Because every time I walked away, some other gun let me down, and the 43X was just sitting there, boring, reliable, and smug. Like it knew I'd come back for it. The worst part? It actually makes sense. Slim profile, easy to carry, 10+1 that doesn't feel like it's pushing the limits, it just works. And when you add a shield mag and stretch that to 15, it feels like you're cheating without carrying a brick. I've tried to replace it with cooler stuff. P365s, Hellcats, fancy optics-ready things with slide cuts and flared mag welds. All of them looked better on Instagram. None of them felt better at 5 p.m. when I was adjusting my belt for the 5th time. The Glock 43X isn't exciting. It won't impress your range buddies, but it's like that one hoodie you won't throw away, not because it looks good, but because it never let you down. And sure enough, I'm carrying it again, because apparently I'm still not over it. I ignored Shadow Systems like it owed me money. Thought it was just another tactical cosplay. Cut up slide, gold barrel, dumb name. The kind of gun that shows up in a flat lay next to a vape mod and a shaker bottle. Then I shot one, and yep, I shut up real fast. It felt like somebody took a Glock, kicked out all the lazy parts, and gave it an attitude adjustment. Grip angle, finally normal. Serrations, actually work. Recoil, like it's been through anger management, and I hated that I liked it. A sheriff's deputy down in Bear County runs this thing on and off duty. Says it's the first pistol that gave him Glock confidence without Glock frustration, and he's not wrong. I've been defending my Glock 19 like it's a religion, but this, same reliability, same footprint, just better everywhere. I tried to hate the trigger, but just couldn't. I tried to break the rhythm, just couldn't. I shot until I ran out of excuses. The only reason I don't carry one is pride, because admitting the MR920 is better means admitting I've been settling, and that's a fight I'm not ready to lose, just yet anyway. I trashed this gun before I ever touched it. Hellcat? Seriously? Sounds like something a vape shop would sell. And the original? It was like trying to shoot a bottle cap with recoil. Small, angry, and loud. So when they dropped the Pro, I rolled my eyes so hard I almost dislocated something. I thought, cool, now it's longer and still sucks. Then someone let me shoot it. One mag, that's all it took. The grip actually fits. The recoil, calm, almost boring, and the capacity, it's just disrespectful. I kept counting shots thinking it should have locked back by now. It didn't, again and again. That's when it got personal, because now I had to go home, dig out my P365, and explain why it's getting benched for something I used to make fun of. The trigger's still Springfield weird, like it clicks when it's not supposed to, and the grip texture feels like sandpaper and teenage rage. But I can't lie, this thing runs and then asks if you want to go again. I carried it for a week, then another, and then I stopped noticing it was even there. That's the real problem. The worst guns are the ones you expect to fail, while the dangerous ones are the ones that don't, even when you want them to. I told myself never again. After the last M&P I owned, I dumped it in a drawer next to some old Kydex and forgot it even existed. The trigger felt like a damp sponge. Recoil, sharp and spiky, like it hated my hand. I remember thinking, this is the most forgettable gun I've ever wasted money on. Then one day in Lubbock, a buddy shows up with a new metal frame version. I laughed. I said, cool, same junk, now heavier, didn't even touch it. Fast forward 6 months, and I'm at the range, and that same friend jams it into my hand mid-conversation. I roll my eyes and take the shot. And man, I hate what happened next. It shot flat, smooth. The recoil was gone. Frame felt like it actually wanted to work with me instead of punish me. Trigger still M&P weird, but halfway through the mag, I stopped noticing. And now, I can't clown on it anymore. It still looks like someone drew it in Microsoft Paint, but you know what? I'd carry it, not because I want to, but because I don't want to be wrong about it again. Taurus. You hear the name, and your hands already start twitching toward a refund. I've seen enough lemons from them to start a juice stand. Seriously, one of their guns once fell apart on my buddy's tailgate. No shots fired, just gravity. So when I picked up the G3C, I was already annoyed. The trigger felt spongy, the slide had that chalky vibe like it was sandblasted by regret, and the branding? Let's not even talk about the font they use because it looks like it was done on Microsoft Paint. But then it fired again and again and again. And now I'm annoyed for a whole new reason because I can't kill the damn thing. I fed it garbage ammo, dropped it on rocks, stuffed it in a glove box with no holster for 6 months, and it still acts like it's got something to prove. Like that scrappy kid who gets picked last for the team but still scores every play. My cousin in Waco swears by his G3C. Daily carry, beat to hell, still runs. I made fun of it until I watched him run 200 rounds through it without a hiccup. Is it refined? Not even close. Would I recommend it over a Glock, CZ, or PDP? Not unless you're broke and stubborn. But if you've only got $300 and you want something that shoots back when it matters, the G3C, God help me, might actually deserve a seat at the table. Don't ask me to respect it though. When I first held the original APX, I thought it was a joke. Those weird serrations looked like it belonged in a movie about the future, the kind with flying cars and bad acting. It felt hollow, like Beretta forgot who they were for a second. But then they dropped the A1, and now I don't laugh. Everything they got wrong before, they just fixed it. And not in a new gen hype kind of way, more like a pissed off engineer stayed up all weekend with a list of everything people hated and just checked boxes until it worked. The trigger, shockingly crisp. Grip angle, better. Optics cut, finally useful. And when I took it to the range, it didn't feel like a Beretta anymore. It felt like someone shoved a Glock, a PDP, and a Canik in a blender and somehow made it not suck. I still don't trust it emotionally, like that friend who let you down once and now wants to hang out again. But I can't ignore it because every time I shoot it, it punches above its weight. It's not cool yet, it's not trendy, nobody flexes this thing on forums, but when you're alone on the range and you're done pretending to care what people think, this thing just performs. And that's more than I ever expected to say about the APX. I used to roll my eyes at this thing. Another duty-built polymer beast trying to squeeze into the carry world with tactical pants energy and a price tag that thinks it's special. But damn it all, this one earned it. First mag dump, I remember thinking, okay, maybe the trigger's trash. Second mag dump, I didn't care anymore because the recoil was flat, the dot stayed where I put it, and suddenly I wasn't missing. In Corpus Christi, I saw this on a patrol cop's belt and thought, huh? That's not your average Glock. The guy said it's been through rain, sand, and salt and never once jammed. It's blocky, feels like a brick with serrations, holsters weird and cheap kydex, but when it's in your hands, it just wants to fight. There's something about how this gun behaves when you shoot it fast. It doesn't feel rushed, it feels cocky, like it knew you'd figure it out eventually. And I know it's not pocket carry, not Sunday jeans carry, it's I might need to do work today carry, and that's fine. Not every gun is supposed to hide. So yep, I was wrong. I talked trash, I said it was overbuilt and overpriced, but now I run it with a holo sun and a light, and it makes a lot of my smaller guns feel like toys. Sometimes you need a gun that doesn't try to charm you, just one that shows up angry and stays that way. I swear I've tried to replace this thing 5 times. Every time I buy something fancier, lighter, and cooler, I still end up stuffing this thing back in the holster like it owes me money. It's not comfortable, the grip texture's like sandpaper on a bad day. The trigger, mushy, like stepping on a wet sponge. But it shoots, and damn does it shoot. First time I ran it, I was just trying to get rid of some leftover steel case junk. Figured I'd jam it up, curse Ruger's name, and move on. Didn't jam, didn't even blink. Just spat it all out like it wanted more. It's ugly, it rattles a little, and I've never once recommended it with a straight face, but it won't leave my truck bag and won't leave my waistband on sketchy road trips, because when everything else feels too pretty to trust, this little mutt still bites. You don't carry it to show off, you carry it because nothing else stayed loyal this long. This gun shouldn't be here. After the drop fire scandal, the lawsuits, the memes, the TikToks showing it going off if you breathe too hard, the P320 should have been buried, canceled, forgotten, but it's not. It's winning contracts, getting cloned, showing up in holsters from Texas to Timbuktu, and the worst part, it kinda deserves it because this thing runs, and not just runs, it adapts. Carry model, full size, X series, AXG, Legion. It's like Sig built a Lego set for grown men with trust issues. I've seen it choke before. I've also seen it dominate USPSA matches, stay dead on in low light drills, and outperform guns people swear are better made. I hate that I respect it because the truth is, it didn't earn our trust, it took it. It survived the hits, stood back up, and quietly became one of the most versatile pistols of this decade. And now, it's everywhere. Whether you trust it or not, the P320 isn't asking anymore. It already knows it belongs here. Now look, I get it. We all want to believe the gun we carry is still the best. But the truth? Some of the old favorites don't just hold up anymore. I've carried almost every gun on this list, and a few of them flat out replaced models I thought I'd never retire. If you're still carrying something just because it's what you've always carried, you might already be behind. The game's changed, you guys, and if your 9mm isn't on this list, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what are you trusting your life to?